We are on FilmsGoneWild.com. My name is John Wildman, the editor-in-chief of Films Gone Wild, and we are at Dances with Films LA. This is actually the final interview that I'm taping. This is your last interview for the day?
It is.
Oh, holy shit! It's like our big capper.
The reckoning.
For everything. And Dances with Films LA at the Chinese Theater and Ovation here in Los Angeles. We're going to talk about the film The Obelisk. Introduce yourself, please.
My name is Emma Schlenoff, and I'm the producer of The Obelisk.
Okay, and our audience has not seen the film as yet, so tell us about the film.
All right. The Obelisk is a seemingly post-apocalyptic suspense adventure thriller, and it follows a drifter who's experiencing all these medical symptoms and making his way through what appears to be ravaged America, until he comes across a veteran, Pliny, who convinces him that the reason we are in this mess and the reason he's sick is because the government, by way of the military, has contaminated the water with a contrast serum as a way to track people, and as a side effect, it's making people sick. And he convinces him to go on this journey to put an end to this program, or at least disrupt it.
So it's a lighthearted little rom-com.
Exactly.
Okay. Because I don't all the time get opportunities to talk to producers about producer stuff.
Okay.
So we're gonna talk about this. First off, producing can mean a shit ton of things. So what did you actually do on this film?
We were a very, very small team, so I wear the hat of lead producer, production manager, production assistant. I wear all the hats. So I'm doing everything from contracts, business management, location manager, keep making contracts with like all the catering, and making sure this film is held together. I'm the liaison between the creative and the execution of this project. And our director always says that I'm the mama bear. I have 2 little kids, and it translates to filmmaking as well.
It's funny. I remember one time, and I've told this story before. I was shooting a feature. I'm directing. And I reached that point in the production. Sometimes it happens where there's kind of a malaise and people are moving around a little bit slower because you're midway through the shoot. And I was like going, I think I have to be bad dad. I've got to yell at people to get them back on their game, whatever. And my producing team, all women, and one of them goes, no, you're the cheerleader. I will be bad dad. And so she did it, and it was great, because then I'm the hero that everybody comes to, and keeps things all happy and light and whatever. And she kept on their asses to make sure they did it. So that mama bear thing, again, I always want a mama bear in my corner when I'm making a film.
Who doesn't?
I know. All right. So let's go into one of these things you just mentioned, which I really want to talk about, which was locations. Mm-hmm. Because we're shooting a lot in the woods, by its very nature of what what the journey, the literal journey that our characters are taking. And when we do that, there's one great aspect about it in that we can find oftentimes whatever we want in the context of, because we don't have buildings to deal with, and we don't have to dress things the way that we do when we're in a room or what have you. But you can also have the challenge of, but we got to get our shit up there to actually, we've got to get our camera equipment, we even have to get our food and stuff. And so talk about the challenges that you faced on this particular film, shooting in that setting.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're right. The locations were very rugged in a lot of ways. We shot in an abandoned granite or marble. I forget which type of stone quarry. High up on a mountain. It's 1.5 miles up a class 4 road. The first time we shot there was literally a river coming down it, and I was afraid that it wouldn't happen, but we got several vehicles up there with like very limited gear. So limited gear is the key there. It was hunting season, so we all wore these bright orange hats, and my team was awesome about it. They just wore the hats through the whole, like inside, outside. We just never took off our bright orange hunting hats. So staying warm was we filmed from November 1st to December 2nd.
And where were we filming?
In Vermont, in southern Vermont. It was cold, very limited daylight, with sun's golden hours at like 3:30 in the afternoon. But the locations were everything. We built the story around these locations. They give you both the grand vistas, but also that intimate, cold, ruggedness that was essential for this.
Let's talk about working with your director, because and especially a producer, and not someone we just gave a title to because you gave us some money or because you introduced us to our star or whatever. But you literally, you legit were doing the stuff, which I'm so glad that you literally listed out everything you did, because that's honestly why I asked the question.
Yeah, I get that question a lot. What does a producer do?
Yeah, what do you actually do? Because again, it can be a myriad of different things. Why we bestow that credit upon someone. And
also the first person on and the last person to sign off the rights at the end of this process. So
right, all right. But you were dealing with the director, and that relationship can also have varying degrees to it, varying levels. Whereas one, again, you're the person pumping that up, going, you go, you're amazing, and your ideas, you're wonderful, whatever. And then sometimes you're the person going, we actually can't do that. Mm-hmm. Is there an alternative we can do because we can afford to do this, or that thing we planned on doing, we need to come up with something else. Mm-hmm. So talk about how the two of you would powwow, and and how you interacted to make sure that what we saw on the screen ended up on the screen.
Yeah, good question. So Bela Batiste, our co-writer and director, he is a force. He had this vision and told me what he wanted, and I knew I could make it happen, and it was very ambitious. Our AD says he looked at what we were trying to do and was like, "You're gonna do what?" And we said, "Yeah, we're gonna do this." And I think part of it is naivete. It's like, sure, let's try this.
Well, that's often, isn't it oftentimes you hear that so many times where you go, if we knew now.
I would do it again, though. I would
really?
do it. I would absolutely, yeah. It was, and I would do it again, but I don't think it's replicable. It was such an incredible experience to work with this team of people, and the circumstances just it felt like, I don't want to say it was meant to be because that sounds cheesy, but the doors just kept opening, and the right people, the right time just kept happening, and it was a gift. It was hard, so hard. I put every single ounce of me into the last 3.5 years. Shout out to my family and my little babies who did this alongside me. But the relationship between Bela and I was essential. If that's not working, the film's not working. And I won't say that it hasn't been challenging, but that's challenging and like getting through it is growth. And so for the most part, we work together great. We were trying to make the same film, which I think is really, really essential. And we've been from the very beginning. We met for this project. We had Alexi Hartley-Shea, who stars in it and co-wrote it with Bela, is a good friend of mine, and so he introduced us. So it was a new relationship that has grown into a incredible collaboration and great friendship. And I also same with our other producer, who is our DP, Victor Shader. So it's really the three of us having these conversations, having those meetings.
All right. So then the other part, I think we may make this the final question about being a producer. Like, the romantic idea of a producer is Kirk Douglas in The Bold and the Beautiful. Right, and he's he's like making things happen, and he's make a thing that would never have worked, but he knows people and he puts them together, and he's on the set and he's being dynamic and bold and everything, and what they never show you is the pain in the ass paperwork. They never show you having to get music rights. They never show you having to deal with SAG and trying to get your money back that you gave to them, and they don't give a shit about giving it back.
During a strike.
Yeah, because they could care less. SAG is the worst to deal with, and so you have that paperwork, you have this paperwork, you have these other things, you have E&O insurance, you have these kind of pain in the ass things. So to talk for a moment about, for you, like, producing for you, was that kind of like going, well, it's a thing we have to deal with, or was it like, this one is just the worst, and and I may never even make another film again because of this one thing, paperwork, pain in the ass thing, or was it you just go, I had to do that, I had to file that, I had to do this?
I think both. There were, as you said, SAG was a big challenge for us. I don't understand why.
There's no reason.
There really was no reason.
There's no reason for it.
Was trying to meet all the requirements. They were in a strike, so they had very limited people. But I've heard that it doesn't matter, that it's always like that.
No, and again, it's for what I'm assuming the budget for this film was, because because I know you guys made all. I mean, you guys, to your credit, you made a fucking Hollywood looking great adventure movie for money that you should not have been able to make like a fucking half-hour pilot for.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I mean, like,
shout out to my crew for that.
No, seriously. As I'm watching, I'm going, this is a big movie.
Thank you.
Knowing that it didn't have the money to make a big movie, but you guys pulled it off.
Thank you.
Absolutely. But SAG, again, and I went through, like, I shot my film non-union because you go, well, we need this much money to be held back. You go, well, that is literally half my budget. Mm-hmm. And it'd be one thing if I knew, like, the next week I'd get all that money back to pay my vendors.
No.
We know it's going to be 8 months, and that's if the best case scenario.
Yeah, I think it was 8 months.
Yeah, because you go, it's just not a priority to them. To do that. So that is pain in the ass, and then not that you guys had this huge like soundtrack infused thing, but the music rights is one of the worst nightmares ever.
Right. So actually, to avoid the music rights nightmare, there are 3 songs licensed for the film, but we hired our incredible composer who jumped on the project in June of 2024, and he's Estonian by birth, but lives in New York. And we wanted to work with a choir, and he had worked with choirs before. So within 2 weeks, he had met with Bela and, come up with all of their ideas for what they wanted to do. Flew to Estonia, wrote all of the music, and recorded in I think it's like the National Radio Hall there with this choir. And that actually was one of the coolest parts of this production for me. I was on vacation in Maine and I just had my headphones in the whole time because there was a live stream of the recording process, and it was so cool to like hear this come to life. We had this vision, we had this what if we have a choir, and then here it was coming to life, and I think it sounds great too.
Okay, I lied. I'm going to ask you one more question.
Okay.
And that is, we had you on the orange carpet. You're at the Chinese Theater, Dances with Films LA. It's literally the biggest, by a number of films, certainly, and other reasons like number of world premieres or whatever. The biggest indie film festival in Los Angeles, one of the top media markets. Could not have a better, place to show the film. What was all that like for you by this point? I mean, because it's a finish line upon finish lines. What was it like for you personally?
Yeah, I'm a country girl from Vermont, right? Like, the 2 days before I got here, I was in Lake Champlain camping on an island that had no service, and couldn't have been more opposite of that carpet in Hollywood. And it was dreamy. I lived in LA for a year, and it wasn't right for me. I don't know how to survive in the desert. If something goes wrong, I know how to live in the woods. I can do that. So, but when I left, I thought, I want to tell this story actually. When we were living here, my father was diagnosed with cancer. I'm not going to get emotional. And I left LA, and in 11 hours, I got a phone call. I got on a plane, and I went home, and I haven't been back. But I said, I'm going to come back. But I'm going to come back on my terms. And I did. I showed up with this awesome team, this film I'm so proud of, and it's never going to look and sound like it did in Theater 1 here at the Chinese theaters, like, ever again. I mean, shout out to anyone who takes us in the future, but good luck trying to compare with that theater. And it was just exciting. It was fun. And all these other filmmakers, like, they all did the same thing. They busted their butts to get here and put everything they had into their films. And it's a beautiful thing. And I feel really lucky.
It is a beautiful thing. And if any film deserved the hoopla and the fanfare that you guys got, Obelisk definitely deserved it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Again, screening at Dances with Films LA. Seriously, all kinds of congratulations to you and the team.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.